Hello there and welcome to Black Jackal Gaming. We're going to take a look at the Green Tide Detachment, which is the Ork detachment in the new Ork Codex. So this is really geared towards getting the best out of Ork Boys, loading them up into your army list and ramming them forwards. It really encourages you to run a lot of large mobs because you get lots of benefits from having more than 10 models in a unit. And it adds a part of the war buff to the boys for the entire game, making them more durable. There's a couple of interesting boys combos to go along with it as well. And with the change to the boys ability, the boys are definitely back in town. Looking at the detachment rules called mob mentality, what this does is that each time you have an attack that targets a boys unit, they get a 5-up invulnerable save against that attack, which is really cool. And each time you have at least 10 models in that unit, you get to reroll save throws of 1 as well, making these guys really durable. For wargear enhancements, the first one's called Ferocious Show-Off. This is for an Orks infantry model. So each time the bearer fights, by resolving those attacks, you get to add 1 to the strength characteristics of the melee weapon. If the unit is containing more than 10 characters, when resolving these attacks, you get to add 3 instead. Now this is only for the model and not the entire unit. But adding that 3, and if you've got the war gun, that'd be +4 strength. It's a substantial amount of strength to add. Next we have Brutal but Cunning. So this is for Orks infantry model again. So in the command phase, if the bearer is on the battlefield or in a transport, which is quite nice, you can roll a d6 and you add 2 to the result if the unit contains 10 or more models. So on a 5+, you gain 1 CP, which is really nice. But if you do get those 10 models, you are then only needing a 3+ to get this CP, which is a really good way just to hoard a bit of CP early game and use all your stratagems. Next we have Bloodthirsty Belligerence. This is for Orks infantry model again. So while the bearer is leading a unit, you can reroll advanced rolls made for the unit. And if it contains 10 or more models, you can reroll the charge as well. So this is really cool, especially when the wire is going off. It gives you a really consistent advance and charge without spending much CP because you're going to have it built into the unit with this enhancement. Finally, we have Raucous Warcaller. This is for an infantry model again. So while the bearer is leading a unit, they always count as having 10 or more models available for the purpose of the detachment room and the stratagems. So if you do get whittled down a little bit, you're still going to be able to get the most out of the detachment with this enhancement. So going over to stratagems, first we have Competitive Streak, which is a battle tactic for 1 CP. And this is during the fight phase and you target one of your boys units. So until the end of the phase, you get to reroll wound rolls of 1. And if the unit contains 10 or more models, you get to reroll an entire wound roll, which is really nice. Then we have Bulldozer Beauty, another battle tactic at 1 CP. Again, in the fight phase, you use this to target a boys unit that's in engagement range of an enemy model. Until the end of the phase, if the model is within 3 inches of an enemy model, it's eligible to fight. So this allows you to have a couple of ranks deep of boys and still be able to get them within fight range of the enemy unit. How a 20-man boys unit is currently set up, you won't get all of them into combat, but this 3 inches is very nice because you're going to be able to more easily get the entire unit into combat. Next we have Bragging Rights, a strategic ploy for 1 CP. This is in your command phase. So you target 2 boys units that are within 6 inches of each other. And then until the start of the next command phase. And while they're still within 6 inches of each other, they count as having 10 or more models. So you still get the detachment rule from them, as well as being able to get the most out of enhancements and stratagems. Then we have Come On Lads, another strategic ploy for 1 CP. This is in the command phase again. And this is for a boys unit. So you can return D3+2 destroyed models to the unit, excluding characters as per usual. So this is a nice way to keep your boys above that 10 threshold. Next we have Tide of Muscle. This is an epic deed for 1 CP, and this is in the charge phase. And again for a boys unit. So until the end of the phase, add the current battle round to the charge roll. So if it's battle round 5, you're adding +5 to that charge roll, making it really consistent to get those 9, 10, 11, 12 inch charges off. And finally we have Go Get 'Em. This is strategic ploy again for 1 CP, and this is during your opponent's shooting phase. After one of your boys units has been targeted, once the enemy unit has shot, you can roll a d6, and then you can each model within that unit can move and finish an engagement range up to the roll of that d6, but you must move closer to the closest enemy unit. And if the unit contains more than 10 models, then you can move 6 inches instead of rolling that d6. So it's a nice way to get a bit of extra movement out of your unit, as well as getting them out of phase into combat. So what buffs and combos can you have in the Green Tide Detachment? Well, to get the best out of it, you really have to run a lot of large squad of boys. So 10 plus boys is 85 points for each 10 man. So you're going to be spending 170 points for your 20 man unit. You probably want to take the combi weapon and the power claw on the boss knob within the unit just to get the most out of him. And you can also, if you've got the 20 man unit, you can take 2 boys with rocket launchers. So you've got a bit of anti-tank along the way as well. So if you lead them with the pain boy, you then get a funeral pain 5+, and once a game you can return D3 boys in the command phase. This is really nice because it just makes them more durable and allows you to use that attachment rule for longer in the game. So you can use the Bloodthirsty Belligerence stratagem to get those rerolls off on your advanced rolls and your charge rolls. For the charge rolls, it does have to be 10 or more orcs. And you can use the Come On Lad strat to return the D3+2 destroyed models to the unit. That's in the command phase. So you can potentially, in one turn, return 2d3+2, and you got that Feel No Pain 5+, and that Invulnerable save as well, so it's quite nice. And if you got 10 or more, you're getting rerolls of 1s on your saves as well, so it's making them really durable. And to begin with as well, they can start on an objective, sticky it, because that's their new rule. They get sticky objectives, and then as soon as you've stuck that, you can then charge down the throat of your enemy, get in those turn 1 or 2 charges, and just do as much damage as possible. Another option is to combine them with a weird boy, because he, once again for another edition, comes with the jump ability. So this allows you to teleport outside of 9 inches of an enemy unit. And when you combine this with the Tide and Muscle strat, and you get to add the battle rounds to the dice rolls for the charge, you've got a turn 5 to jump and charge, where you've got that +5 inches to your charge. So if you are coming in at 9 inches, you only really need to roll 4 to get in charge range. And if it's the full 12 inches, well, you only need that roll of 7, which is your average. So you're really adding a lot of consistency to the jump and getting those charges off. And as well as that, again, you've got the Bloodthirsty Belligerence for the rerolls to the advanced rolls and the charge rolls. There's also the late game guaranteed charge. As I said before, you've got that 4 or 5 on your charge dice roll with the inbuilt reroll just to get it off and make sure come the end of the game you're getting on those objectives, you're killing more units and you're scoring more victory points. If you like the video, hit the like and subscribe button. If you want to support the channel, consider picking up a membership or pop along to Patreon, where I do a lot of blogging and memes. That's free access for that, and there's a couple of extra goodies if you want to throw some cash in. Check out these other videos and I'll see you next time.